Senna buffs are proving to be extremely impactful, while Veigar bot lane is highly underrated after his buffs. As we reach the midway point of 12.2, it's time to update you guys on how the meta is shaping out thanks to the help of our challenger players and use of the most recent analytics. We'll be holding off on a Zeri rating until 12.3 as it's too early to accurately place the champion shortly after her release. But before we get into it, be sure to check out SkillCapped if you want to truly get better at League of Legends. We're the only service that offers a money-back guarantee if you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using our service. We do this because our service really does work, and if it doesn't work for you, you shouldn't pay. Learn more at the end of this video or click the link in the description below. Tahm Kench is coming off some massive changes in 12.2, and they've done a great job at lowering his top lane strength. Bruiser top lane mains rejoice as Tahm's play rate and win rate have taken a considerable hit. Lane dominance is not what it once was due to the E nerf, as Tahm has become a much more playable matchup. There are now many better carry picks who take higher priority, with Tahm dropping down to A tier. Top lane Akali has seen a huge comeback over the past patch due to the new tank build. Be sure to check out our dedicated Tank Akali video to get the full scoop on the pick. In short, Turbo Chem Tank has amazing synergy with Akali due to the refuel passive. Mobility and damage are what stack the bonus damage proc from refuel, and due to all of Akali's mobility spells, she can abuse it super well. Chem Tank was even nerfed, but based on the analytics, the item continues to outperform Rocket Belt. You'd think the lack of burst power would be an issue, but it's really not, as you grab Demonic Embrace second and Shadow Flame third. You're extremely durable on this 3-item spike, but can still one-shot squishies. Akali will be placed in A tier for 12.2. The complete top lane tier list looks a little different for mid-patch as Shen shifts into S tier while Akshan and Darius move up. As a result of the teleport changes, these lane-dominant top laners are seeing much more success right now. Akshan is a fantastic lane bully who dominates most meta matchups. Q Harass combined with the long-range gap close on E offers a crazy amount of kill pressure into melee top laners. Volibear is another will be moving up the list for mid-patch as the buffs have given him an added jolt. Singed is quietly performing extremely well for 12.2 due to the Rylai's buffs. Core build is relatively cheap now, which allows for a quick mid-game spike. Despite the Shen Q nerfs, he remains a very strong solo Q top laner, just not the true OP pick from previous patches. Favoring top laners who can acquire an early advantage on their own is going to set you up the best with how the meta has turned. Akshan, Darius, Teemo, Urgot, and Tryndamere are really liking the current state of the top lane. To stomp your way out of low elo, look into one of Teemo, Mundo, or Nasus. Tryndamere, Teemo, and Darius are all great bans. We knew the Talon nerfs would lead to a drop in power, but they've hit him even harder than expected. Clear speed is so vital for the strength of a jungler, and Talon's W bonus damage to monsters got sliced from 135 down to 105%. It's likely Riot circles back on this change and offers a partial revert, as Talon's in the gutter for 12.2. Talon had a good go at it on top of the meta, but it's time to shift your focus elsewhere, as playing a C-tier jungler is rather suboptimal. The most broken junglers at 12.2 are Hecarim and Nunu. Even with the Chem Tank nerfs factored in, Hecarim continues to rise above all else. Volibear and Nocturne buffs have helped ever so slightly, however, they're still outclassed by a large portion of picks. Lichbane alterations have led to a small uptick in power for junglers like Echo, Nidalee, and Elise, but not enough to influence their tier list placements. Same thing in regards to Kiana and Zed nerfs, as the changes weren't impactful enough to warrant a drop down the tier list. Other than the Talon nerfs, no other changes significantly shifted the jungle meta. Top 3 low elo junglers include Warwick, Trundle, and Nunu. Highest on the ban list this patch are Nunu, Diana, and Hecarim. One of the biggest winners of 12.2 has been Malzahar thanks to the Rylai's buffs. The item slots in perfectly as a second purchase, and due to the cost reduction, you're able to hit a mid-game spike a little faster. It's common knowledge Malzahar struggles throughout the early stages, so a buff to propel him towards his mid to late game is huge. If you're struggling to climb out of low elo, there's few better options than Malzahar right now. A consistent S tier mid is where you'll find Malz for 12.2. The most OP mid from 12.1 has become even stronger in 12.2. Lichbane changes have been extremely positive for Victor, as the item is outperforming everything else as a second purchase. Lich has always been a viable pickup on Vic, but due to the ability haste being added back on, it's now become core once again. Almost every single mage item change has been beneficial to Victor in Season 12, so it's no surprise he's on top of meta. The Machine Herald has a stranglehold of the OP tier slot for yet another patch. For the complete mid lane tier list, it's Anivia joining Victor in the OP tier. Although Aurelion Sol is one of the most forgotten mid laners, his power has become stronger for 12.2. Rylai's buffs are perfect for Soul as you rush the item and hit a nice quick spike due to the cost reduction. We moved Veigar into A tier during our pre-patch update, and he's fitting in very well after his recent buffs. Veigar remains exploitable throughout the early game, but his scaling potential is even better now. In regards to Yone and Yasuo, they're hanging around as good A tier picks after the Q buffs. There are definitely better options higher on the tier list, but if you put the time into either of the champions, they can be rewarding. Top 3 picks to climb low elo the fastest are Veigar, Malzahar, and Annie. Good bans to consider are Victor, Kassadin, and Uxin. Although Senna is more commonly played as a support, her power as an ADC after the Q buff has seen a massive rise. Simply adding a slow to Senna's Q has seen her win rate spike over 3%. It just goes to show how the Glacial Augment rework was such a detriment to Senna. If you're looking to try out Senna ADC, let's get you in touch with the correct setup. First Strike is what you'll run as the keystone, and the build consists of an Eclipse Rush into Manamune. It's easy for Senna to proc First Strike off Q, which allows you to generate extra gold and transition into completing Mirror Mana faster. Senna leapfrogs past everyone else on the tier list and lands in the OP tier for our mid-patch update. Veigar's a solid mid laner after the Q buffs, while he's an absolute powerhouse in the bot lane. Veigbot has always seen better results than mid due to the ability for him to scale more reliably. Majority of traditional ADCs don't have the ability to pressure Veig out of lane like most mid laners can. By running teleport, you bypass the laning phase much easier, as getting chunked out won't matter too much. Every bot lane player should have Veigar in their champion pool for 12.2 at the very least as a pocket pick. He's great in all scenarios, but even better when your team locks full AD. Don't sleep on bot lane Veig, as he's a powerful OP pick for 12.2. The bot lane meta has shifted, as Senna and Veigar will be joining Jhin and Vayne in the OP tier. It's nice to finally see a little shakeup, as the trio of Vayne, Jhin, and Jinx had been so dominant for multiple patches. Jinx will fall down into S as a result of Senna and Veigar moving up. Tristana is back in a good spot after her base health buff, as she finds a spot in the A tier. Riot has been unsuccessful in offering Samira any meaningful power shift, as the ultimate buffs were not enough. Unless you're a one-trick, there are much better options, as Samira sits in B tier. Veigar, MF, and Ziggs are the top 3 picks to climb low elo. Senna, Vayne, and Ezreal are all great bans for the state of the meta. The Janna mini rework has been extremely successful in regards to increasing her popularity. So many more players are leaning the way of Janna for 12.2 and seeing great success as well. Something important to note is that Moonstone has become a much better mythic purchase now. When Janna slows or knocks up a target, she now receives 20% bonus heal and shield power. This works amazing in conjunction with Moonstone passive heal. Shirelia's is still a viable pickup, but the power from Moonstone cannot be ignored moving forward. The change to Janna E has also made Redemption a more valuable purchase. A sample core build you'll want to try is Moonstone into Chemtech Putrefier and Redemption 3rd. With Lulu nerfed, Janna slides past her in priority as a strong OP enchanter for 12.2. Taking home the OP tier slots for support are Senna, Blitz, and Janna. Senna support and ADC are ridiculously strong after the Q buff, so if you want some freelo, you know where it's at. Following up on the Lulu nerf, she has seen a considerable drop on strength. Not enough to completely remove her from meta, but will be pushing Lulu down to A tier for mid-patch. Soraka, Sona, Nami, and Janna are simply the better enchanters now. We were optimistic for the Tahm Kench buffs, but they haven't accomplished a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. Tahm paired with Senna is completely insane now, but Tahm by himself is still a pretty mediocre pick. Especially with enchanters dominating the meta right now, it is so difficult for Tahm to fit in. Top 3 picks to climb low elo are Soraka, Senna, and Zyra. Senna, Blitz, and Lulu are all good ban options to consider. Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little more about SkillCapped. So, we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week, with over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses no one can compare. We've also sent challenger players into Elo Hell 714 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you are serious about improving. So that's going to round everything out for the 12.2 mid-patch tier list update. Until next time, good luck in solo queue and have a great day.